Hello and welcome to All I Do Is Fail. I'm your host, Tom Elwes. I'm joined today as ever by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
How's it going, Tom? You all right? I've been just talking with Tom and our guest, who we'll get onto in a minute, for about half an hour. Absolutely tone perfect.
Yeah.
And then the lights are on. And
pressure.
The pressure got to me there.
That was very fitting for this podcast.
I'm Ali's 15-year-old brother.
Thank you for coming along, little Alfie. It's great to see you.
How are you, Tom? You good? You good, babe? Me and Tom, if you don't know, listeners, are sitting on the same couch, which has never happened before.
I don't normally know be this close.
Our legs are touching, and we're wearing a classic All I Do Is Fail, wearing the same clothes. And how are you feeling about that, Tom?
I like it.
I'm not getting good vibes from him.
No.
It's like the ones where, you know, when you like someone and you end up sitting next to them and you're really thrilled at the party, but they're like looking around for
I'm looking for
conversations.
someone
and
cool.
stuff. Yeah.
Luckily, we have Jacob here, so that's a seamless transition.
How you doing?
Hello, Jacob.
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Very good, very good.
Your body language is much more positive towards me than it is towards Ali.
Well,
like you're sort of leaning
But that's what he's like. I only became a co-presenter the other week. But even though I've been on it for like 40 episodes, Tom was like, and we've got a guest on again, afterwards. And I was like,
you're a feature.
So, I'm bits and pieces.
Well, you put in the miles now, and you've made it to official co-host status.
Same couch
And
now.
you do the admin as well.
Well, I mean, don't have to peek behind the curtain, but I'm a pretty big deal around here.
Don't reveal our secrets.
We just get guests on because we just meet them and chat.
Yeah.
You know, it's very organic. There's no admin.
We were
machine.
just walking through this warehouse in
out.
Berghain, having a really nice chat.
He actually came to see the experimental art show going on outside.
What was he doing? There's a dude topless being photoed by three guys.
Then there's a guy in a kind of I don't really know what you would describe that as, sort of a kind of part beekeeping outfit, sort of. And that guy was on a leash. The shirtless guy was on a leash. So
Yeah.
I don't have the vocabulary to describe it.
It was that wild.
As a piece of art, if that's what they're going for, great.
Yeah.
If you want to see photos, listeners, Jacob's agreed to do that after the show, so we'll get that up on Instagram.
We'll oil up Jacob Hawley. Some good stuff. Right, guys, we're going to move on to our first section as we always do. It is the news.
That's the jingle.
There's a
Do you
bit
have
of
music?
post.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's no post, mate.
Welcome to it. All right. Our first story is of a man in America, of course, who was arrested. A 34-year-old man has been arrested after going on a rampage and throwing a tantrum because he thought his wife had damaged one of his action figures. It was a Spider-Man action figure. The man used an axe to destroy his TV, laptop, and family car because he thought his wife had damaged his action figure. I mean, Jake, have you ever loved anything so much you've destroyed your own TV and laptop because someone...
I don't have an axe to hand, so I can't do that.
That's classic America, isn't it? Obviously, he has his axe ready to go.
Well,
Get my axe. I'm going.
I'm trying to picture this guy's house. Like he's a 34-year-old bloke, and within his house, he's got action figures and an axe. Do you know what I mean? It's a family car, so you assume he has kids as well, which makes the whole thing even more tragic.
Also, I like the thing of like, you've caused damage. How can I sort this out? I'm going to damage everything else. It's not really learning the lesson, is it?
Well, to be the only possible logistical thinking behind it would be that, you know, she's damaged something of his. I'm going to take away what she loves: laptop, car, TV. Yeah.
But I don't want to say, but this is what's wrong with America. Do you know what I mean? Is that there are 34-year-old men who have tantrums and axes.
And action figures. Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to get so upset about Spider-Man and have access to an axe.
Yeah.
When selling someone an axe, they should be saying to him, by any chance, do you have action figures that you're going to get really upset about if they break? And if you go, oh yeah, I do actually go, I'm probably not going to give you a weapon.
That should apply to guns and any and all.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, is there anything that you love in this world that you would kill for?
What's the thing that if you got a girlfriend, if she damaged, what's the one item just that if she damaged, you'd proper kick off?
I don't know really, because I mean I've been moving house recently, and it has made me realise I don't really own anything. Do you know what I mean? Do you have that? I moved because I was telling you I move around quite a lot. I was sort of here, there, and everywhere before. I don't own anything. I don't really have anything. I've just got clothes and a couple of saucepans.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know about you, but I think I'm at that weird sort of point in a man's life where so far all the money I've earned I've spent on food, alcohol, and clothes.
Yeah.
And so I don't own any. I've got nothing to show. So I don't know what she could wreck.
Well, I mean, you're looking pretty sharp.
Yeah.
No, well, look, I tell you what. I mean, the reason I wear these fucked trainers is because she's dyspraxic, my girlfriend, and she wears Doc Martens, and she's constantly fucking kicking my feet. Do you know what I mean? That drives me a bit nuts. No, but do you know
that might be another problem.
That's a great cover story.
So I come in the room just because my feet are good.
She wears really heavy boots and kicks me, but apparently it's dyspraxia.
It's like she,
Just
like
boots you. I'm dyspraxic. Shut up, Jacob.
Got him in a headlock. Sorry, it's dyspraxia.
I don't want to upset anyone who's got dyspraxia, but
Yeah.
like if we're walking alongside each other, especially if I'm wearing like new white trainers, because I really like white trainers,
Yeah.
I'll just feel like all that kicking my fucking feet, and it
Yeah.
scuffs and wrecked, and it's like so that actually that's the answer to trainers. When I get my trainers wrecked, I don't even wear. I'm not one of these people who owns like £200 fucking rare collector trainers.
My mate got that the other day. Went to a Japanese store in Soho. I don't know what it was called, but it's specialist trainer company.
Right.
Yeah.
And 130 quid. And he got them. They're like black plimsolls.
Mate,
Yeah.
that's
That's
reasonable though. That's actually like the price of trainers are fucking mental nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like even like Reebok, even like these, like Reebok Classics, like 70 quid.
Yeah, but there's a whole like stock market for trainers now online, and eBay and stuff.
It's like the what's it called? Supreme.
Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that shop in Soho?
Yeah. So I used to work by it,
I
and
did-
when they had like the
drop days.
queues down
God.
round the corner, everything.
It's fucking mental. Did you
Yeah.
see the brick? Did you see that?
Yeah,
They had a fucking brick.
with Supreme on it, and they people
Like
would queue
it's
outside.
genuinely, they
Is
had a
that
fucking
it?
brick
Yeah.
that had the word Supreme on it,
I
and
thought
people
you
were
was-
queuing to get a brick.
If you want to start any product now, you just have to either has to be a subscription service or very very limited, and just randomly drop it wherever it is.
Like that's literally they're like you want to say to the people in that queue like they're laughing at you. They're literally laughing at you.
Yeah.
Someone in that fucking office in Japan or wherever they're based has gone, I reckon we could sell them a brick.
Yeah.
And then they're fucking
They're just
buying bricks.
looking around the room now. What can we put Supreme on?
Yeah, I know,
The building site.
yeah.
The new Supreme wheelbarrow.
Yeah, literally, like, we've got a fucking, like that dog's bed over there. Slap a sticker on that, you'd sell that. It's mental.
But I just think people will, if you build the hype, people will just join the queue for the sake of joining the queue. It's just
mate.
like,
It is that thing though. That is like I remember like during Edinburgh during the Fringe and stuff. I like when you've got days where you've like pretty much sold out. You like you think to yourself, oh right, I won't have any flyers this day. But they're like, no, you need more flyers because people need to see the queue. Because if they see a queue, they'll come the next day. Do you know what I mean? It's all this
That's
like
interesting.
PR marketing. So I haven't got a clue about any of it, but you are right about that queuing thing.
hype builds hype.
Yeah.
It's just it's ridiculous, but yeah. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do with ADIF merch. We're gonna be doing drop days,
Mate, if you
at
want,
the Bermondsey studio.
come down here. We've got a nice car park.
Yeah.
If you want a Tom Elwes action figure,
Yeah, or
to
if you want an Ali Woods t-shirt,
Regular guest Ali
regular
Woods.
guest Ali Woods. yeah.
and once again he's back, Ali Woods.
Yeah,
Regular guest / administrator.
Ali, if you could get the teas, cheers.
Ali Woods regular guest for the 42nd time. Yeah, that's what we're gonna get a t-shirt. We should get ADIF hats.
Adif hats, yeah. Let us know what you'd want to wear. Adif style, Adif style.
Style, ADIF
Yeah,
style.
ADIF
You just need a
style.
hat and a t-shirt.
So,
What's your demographic? What sort of people listen to this?
Well,
Do you know?
legends. That's
Like,
it.
yeah.
I mean,
the
the
best
best people
fans
in the
in
world,
the world.
Jacob. So
And not just our mums or
no, it's actually exclusively not our parents. Our parents have never listened.
Yeah,
to
they've
episodes.
actually discouraged us from doing this. Probably get a real job.
Support.
Sort your life out. Yeah.
You still do that radio thing that doesn't go on the radio.
Yeah. You'll never get married. Yeah.
You can invite a wife on. Basically, it, yeah. So
That's our life pretty much. Right, guys, we're now going to move on to the second news story of the news, and that is the man who was mistaken for the Huddersfield new manager. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
There was a man sat in the crowd who everyone thought was Huddersfield's new manager, come to support the team before taking over the job. A news reporter goes up to him and says, "How does it feel to be Huddersfield new managers?" And he replied, "I'm not the Huddersfield new manager. I'm Martin from Wakefield."
Did you see what Huddersfield then did when they announced their manager?
No.
They like football clubs do these like massive videos now when they
I hate them.
I can't stand them. But this one was actually really funny. It was like they built it up like we're announcing our new manager. This is the guy. And it was actually, they got the guy from the crowd. And like in the video, it's him sat behind like a desk with like this thing. And then their real manager walks in. He's like, Martin from Wakefield, you are not the manager of Huddersfield. He's German. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I was going to say yes. What's wrong with him?
yeah. But their actual manager walks in and kicks out Martin from Wakefield and sits in the chair.
I love that as well, that they've got to get these like footballers and managers into these like social videos, but they're so uncharismatic.
Nothing will make you
I
look...
can imagine it completely. Martin,
Yeah.
get out of the chair.
Well, we all seen Wayne Rooney's wine advert.
Yeah.
We've seen that. It's like they say he is the chosen
It's El
one.
Diablo. That's it. Yeah, Diablo. It's
painful.
It's so good.
Or equally, Santi Cazorla coming out of the magic trick.
That
was
what?
Santi Cazorla when he was revealed at
He's
Valencia.
getting to niche
Villarreal.
early 10s.
Villarreal.
He went back to Villarreal in the summer, and you know when they announced him, they announced it too. They managed to get a crowd of people in their stadium, and they had a magician like doing a trick with a box, and basically like he made Santi Cazorla appear in the box. But it's mental because obviously the people that had come to watch that knew that they were coming to see Santi Cazorla being unveiled.
It's suddenly like it's Messi.
So what's going to be in the box?
It's the player we all came to see get revealed.
The funniest thing that I find this is like when football clubs do all this stuff, they have to combine quite like serious professional people with like sort of like quirky social media content creators. Do you know what I mean? So like someone at Huddersfield Town, they would have had to sit down this really serious new German manager they'd got from the Bundesliga and go, all right, mate, something happened on Sunday, right? It's really funny. There was this guy, do you know where Wakefield is? And this German manager would have been sitting there going, what the fuck are you talking about? And they'd be like, it was like, Sky interviewed him by accident. So this is him, by the way. I'm Martin from Wakefield. And this German manager would sit there going, I've come here to train football players.
That's it. It's like because Huddersfield are bottom of the Premier League. Exactly. I was like, look, but you got to rescue us, please. But before you crack on with that,
I know you want to get the lads doing the running and the conditioning and stuff like that. But you know, this is Martin from something really funny. We think we're going to get quite a lot of engagement on social media. With
you either do this or you get out the Shark Tank. That's it. We got a magician in a Shark Tank, or you do this one. It's up to you.
Brilliant record in the Bundesliga, fantastic. That's why I important to you. But also, can you drive a motorcycle through a burning ring of fire? Because if you could.
Santi Cazorla, like he'd come back from like 2 years of not playing football because of that horrendous injury on his ankle, and then like Villarreal must have said to him like, I know ankle's still a bit dodgy in that, but we've got this magician who's going to put you in a box. Do you mind if we put you in that?
Oh, dude.
It's unbelievable.
I love these guys who randomly go viral though. These like small time people. Like we were talking last episode with Dane about how like. What was he saying? Success is measured quantitatively, not qualitatively. So it's all about likes. But I like these random people.
It's all about numbers, man. Like, did you see the guy who his thing is he goes, "Why are you coming fast?"
Did
you see that?
He's got a music video,
mate. He's not just got a music video. He's got like a fucking agent, and now he does like nightclub appearances around the country.
Or did you see the? There's two things. One, my mate went to a wedding and they played a football match afterwards, and they paid the Waddleston Raider 400 quid.
Yeah,
400 quid to ref the match, right? Just as a laugh, right? So he's making 400 quid. He's making way more than all of us. That's unbelievable.
The funny thing is with that is like when he first like the Wheelstone Raider guy, because did you see he turned up at the Tyson Fury press conference before one of Tyson's comeback fights? Did you see that? No. He sort of like it was a fucking circus. It was awful. It was before. It weren't the Wilder fight. It was which one was it? The Italian geezer.
Right.
I think it was the second fight back. But they were having this press conference, Frank Warren and Tyson Fury, and then like. Like serious journalists are sat there trying to get a proper quote from Tyson Fury, and then the Wheelstone Raider just walks in like Tyson Fury.
You got no fans.
You got no fans.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, who the fuck thought this was a good idea? But that's where he was. But now it's just going to go like that. And I reckon in like 2 years' time you'll be able to hire him for a stag do for like 50 quid.
Yeah. Well, it's just like with all these. But where does the line blur with real journalist and fake? When you're thinking about AFTV and all those things.
Mate, they're getting their own TV show. They're in talks with Channel 5 to get their own.
I thought you already had a thing on Channel 4, the bloke who ran it. Like, he was doing
Robbie did.
But that's just like, just the lines are blurring.
But it's like what Dane said. Like, it's just numbers. It's literally just numbers. He'll have more. He'll be able to go into a TV producer's office and have more clout than an actual journalist because he's got however many fucking hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube of some twat. Talking about net spend or whatever they fucking go on about. I go there and I fucking hate them. We've got the worst Arsenal fans.
No, it's terrible.
We have the worst fans in the world, mate. We nearly had a square off with them with two guys the other day.
So you're an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I got a ticket. I go every
Season
week.
ticket,
And
right,
it
okay,
I don't know why, it was the Chelsea game the other day, but it was like everyone sold their ticket for some reason. So like all the people that usually sit around us weren't there.
Yeah.
And there was these two fucking kids, and they were so annoying, and they were just shouting it. And eventually, like, there was genuinely a Chelsea fan who admitted to be a Chelsea fan in front of us.
Bloody hell.
And we ended up kicking off at the Arsenal fans next to us rather than the Chelsea fan in front of us because they were so bad. Like they were just like shouting abuse at
When you say
everyone.
kids as well, what age was you?
Well, no, they're probably only like a few years younger than me.
Right,
but
okay.
like literally just like shouting at everyone, swearing at everyone, and it's like there's like children sitting around us. Do you know what I mean? Who's come to this match? It's just like, our fans are horrible.
Yeah.
No, it's horrible, but also for instance, like if it's the weather is bad at the Emirates, it's less people go. Like genuinely,
mate,
like it's like horrific. Like you know, it could be a really big game. Everyone's like, no, I can't be bothered. Like I went to West Ham away when we were playing, like where we lost 1-0 the other week, and it was horrific. Like,
really, the away
so
fans are usually better.
The game was just so depressing that. It was just not even worth it.
I was away for that one. I was in Costa Rica.
Not bad life, is it? When I'm not using my most expensive season ticket.
I got lucky with that. I didn't have to pay for the ticket. I got lucky with that.
I did a corporate gig for us.
Wait. Oh, you're right. Yes, that is a lot more relatable now.
This is the all I do is win. Is this all I do is win podcast? Is that what we're saying?
We did our lessons. We did ask Jacob before, and he was like, "I'm not sure about a fail." I went, so you literally just been smashing life. Actually, messed up on anything.
The list is too long. There's too many fails, but we'll get to that. We'll get to it.
Well, we actually are at the end of the news, so we are.
Is that all the news we've got?
Yeah, we normally only do like one or two stories. It's like
really,
just a little couple fail stories.
When you said news at the start, I thought it was going to be like serious news as well.
It's called All I Do Is Fail.
It's not like
we got Jacob Hawley on. So Jacob,
we'll have it's a bit of a fail. So we'll take your take on Brexit if you want this week.
No, all right, mate.
If you want to share,
what people want is more stuff about Brexit in their ears. That's what they want.
Yeah, not enough being spoken about. Not enough spoken about in comedy. That's what I really feel that we're lacking. The chat about Brexit.
What you have missed out this week that sometimes happens is when Tom does the news, and he does a very good job on looking up the news just 5 minutes before we go on there. But
he's reading it off his phone now.
He sometimes that's just him texting. He's not involved. He sometimes brings a print out. When no one knows what the thing is supposed to mean. He prints it on a printer from 1971. The colour is black and slightly grey or black.
Yeah.
And
it's only got black and white ink. All right.
Do you own a printer? Do you own a printer?
No, I do it in my office. It was just.
I don't know anyone that owns a printer.
Well, you were talking about not being able to, taking your stuff to the next thing. I was having a chat with my flatmate. And we were like talking about like contents insurance, like if you get burgled or whatever, and he was just like, I've nothing worth. Like my laptop was the only thing worth anyone would steal. Like I can't think of anything
worth
else.
is in your pockets now, isn't it? It's
I've got a laptop and my guitar, but then who nicks a guitar? Now, me and my mates. We were talking about the potential of getting into robbery the other day. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
So nice
we got free season tickets. I say it was free. Exactly. Guy doesn't know.
My name's Alistair Stone. Season ticket.
We were just talking. We were just talking hypothetically about robbery, but we were saying like it must be really hard for robbers nowadays because what do you nick? Because if you nick a phone, like you just get it blocked and you can't use it. Nick a laptop, you can do the same. Like I don't really know what robbers do.
Again, we were talking about this last week.
I think
that's
jewelry.
This is where they break into more suburban homes than like flats. Because we were talking about this with Dane last week as well. Is like it used to be your phone would get nicked if you brought your phone out on the street like that. You are potential. Whereas now everyone's got a phone and phones come and go and they're not as valuable. So you can't really nick them.
I remember years ago. I met a girl and she was genuinely impressed because she was Slovakian, so we didn't really speak the same language. But I basically managed to. I
showed her a polyphonic ringtone. And she could.
No. I told her.
I showed her my high score on Snake.
She was like, "Whoa!"
Thought it was pretty cool.
I told her that I had an iPhone, and that was like impressive. I didn't have an iPhone. I had like a Nokia touchscreen thing.
Yeah.
But like having an iPhone used to be impressive, whereas now like everyone's got a fucking
Everyone's got an iPhone. I got burgled at our house as a kid, like 2 or 3 times. But I remember one time I got burgled and they nicked the PlayStation, right? But they left the memory card. So like, kind of what like that's a thinking man's burglar right there. That's like,
I had a kind. I got mugged, but they did it in a kind way. I was like 13. This is a fail actually. This is a fail. This is so I was about 13, 14, and I was getting the train into town on my own to take back a pair of sunglasses from Top Man. And
what needed that £7 back?
Yeah, no, I did. Well, you know, at that age, you know,
okay. How much was the train ticket?
Like £1.
Okay.
Like,
13
but these 3 lads, they cornered me with a screwdriver.
Oof.
Got my iPod, my phone, and my wallet. And as I was giving them the wallet, I said to him, "Sorry, mate, do you mind if I just grab a receipt out of there?" And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, because the only reason I'm on this train is because I'm taking back these sunglasses. And if I've got the receipt's no good to you, but if I've got the receipt, at least I can still take the sunglasses back. And he genuinely looked at me and went, yeah, to be fair, they're not very nice. Got the receipt out of the wallet and gave it back to me.
Oh my God. Taking your stuff. Good on you, mate. Yeah, good decision that, because they are shit.
Wasn't even nasty about the sunglasses. Was like, that's the decision I'd make. I'd take them back as well. Have the receipt.
You got mugged by the fashion police.
Otherwise, you're only going to be able to do like an exchange in it. So you have the receipt, mate.
Yeah, no, respect.
Fair play. It'd be still credit.
On top of your admin, I like it.
That's quite friendly mugging though.
It was.
Every time I've been robbed, I just had the shit kicked out of me. And like,
did you? No, but I was. Do you know what? Did you try and fight back?
No, this is the worst thing. Honestly, I remember being.
I was walking.
Anyway. A guy came out right and was just like, "Give me your." It was just like these 2 guys. They're like, "Give me your fucking phone," right? And I was just like, I think I said, "Oh, come on," like, and then just bang, just kicked the shit out of me. Yeah. All my stuff gone. Woke up. Yeah, fuck.
What? Oh, knocked you out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stamped. Yeah.
Fucking. Where was that? Was that in London?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was in an Archway about 2 in the morning.
Was it in Archway, mate? Yeah. Archway's fucking rough.
Yeah, Archway. There's bits of the estates not. Yeah.
My mate nearly got mugged in Archway. He's not even a big guy. His name's Liam. He was walking home and he just had his weekly shop. He just had a big shop. Yeah. And it was like in a gym bag. And these 2 kids came up to him and was like, "What's in the bag?" And he was like a bit of chicken, some milk, that sort of stuff. And they're like, "Give it to us." And he just went, "No." Hit them really hard.
He hit them.
Hit them. Yeah. Like, just. I think if you are going to fight back, you have to be quick. Do you know what I mean?
Go for it,
but he said like they both had hoods up and stuff, and he said as soon as he hit them, the kid fell to the floor, and he was like 13. And he looked down and he's like, "Oh God, I've just knocked out a teenager."
Knocks always trying to revise their stats, man.
What do you do? If they you can't fucking like ID everyone who tries to mug you. You can't be like, "How old are you, by the way? Because I'm going to knock you out in a minute." Like, I'm 18. All right, fair enough.
Oh bloody hell! How old were yours? You don't know.
I don't know. I was only like, I was
12,
12. Yeah. I was 15. So
definitely out of primary school though, mate, for sure.
They were taller than me, stronger.
Stronger.
Were they taller than you?
Yeah, I was 15.
Oh right, okay. I was going to say.
Yeah.
You a late bloomer?
Yeah, a little bit.
Height-wise.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Edith listeners, I'm sure, see the photos. Tom's stacked now.
Thanks.
Big guy.
Thanks.
Tom came to my birthday party. And thanks for coming, Tom. Yeah. And
someone had to.
I said it was a birthday party. I just invited him for dinner.
It was just me, and it was Ali with a cake in his bedroom.
By 300
it was
people,
really
me
depressing.
and Tom. And
I wanted to leave.
You're getting some good compliments on your arms.
Well, thanks. I think it's important to. Do we promote health on this podcast? I don't even think we do.
No, that's not a fail though.
That's not a fail to look after yourself. Yeah.
It's a fail to not look after yourself, guys.
Yeah.
Think about it.
That should go on the t-shirts when you do the merch.
It's a fail to not look after yourself.
That's straight from regular guest Ali Woods, actually, that quote. So.
Maybe you can help us. We're trying to think of names to call our fans, like fail heads. Yeah, we're not ADIF. We're definitely not going with AIDS. That was
my suggestion.
We're not going the AIDS. ADs.
Just failures, isn't it?
Failures.
Other
failures.
Failures.
Write in your suggestions, people.
Yeah, let us know. ADIF Pod. Give us a message. Instagram, Twitter. So many of you are messaging at the moment. It's tough to keep up. But if someone could actually message us, even just
Joe's writing an article.
No, we do have some messages in place. Thank you very much if you have messages.
Someone's writing an article about
we do quite a lot of stuff on mental health. So we've had like
she works for the NHS and she blogs.
People come in with fails, and a lot of them end up being based in like mental health and addiction and stuff.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's not. What are you surprised about?
Why are you trying to make this podcast?
Hold on, this shit.
Jacob coming in talking about his trainers and his
trainers and a free article ticket. Hang on for your mental health, son.
The tone of it, like fail, like that's like fail. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah. But if you came on and you were like, yeah, so I attempted suicide, we're not going to be like, like when you know, if you're having like bad mental health, you're not sitting there going, "Oh God, what a fail." Do you know what I mean?
We're trying to reduce the stigma
around failure. There should be,
we've had some dark stuff.
And at some points, it's good to laugh sometimes about mental health, and it kind of reduces stigma.
You managed to make me look like the twat now. You managed to make me look like the one who's being ignorant of that mental.
Hey, you're allowed to fail.
Yeah, you're allowed to
fail, Jacob.
You know, it's a failure, and it can be humorous. The
problem is, you guys are like both fucking big alpha males. Like, it's hard to admit failure.
Oh, thanks, Jacob.
Jacob, you charm.
Squished together on that sofa.
Two egos on one side.
Two egos. I actually feel like I'm interviewing you because this is how it is. Do you know what I mean? Isn't it? Like, if you watch the Graham Norton thing, he has a chair, he has an armchair, and he puts the guests on a sofa, doesn't he? So I feel like
so maybe we should. We can switch it up.
I mean, this character assassination of our podcast, mid-podcast, from Mr. Hawley over here.
Jacob
being like, I don't really think the tone's right, and you've not got the sound right.
I'm just not.
What's it about?
When you
it's
email
about
me,
what? You said fuck off, mate. You can pull the other one.
I'm coming on your podcast.
You email me and you go, oh yeah, it's quite light-hearted. You know, just a few, just tell us a few fails from your life. I'm not sitting there thinking, where was that time that I felt fucking awful about myself and I had to go to the doctor? Like,
well, we say that we ask the guests to reveal as much as they want to, and it can really range from we've had literally overdosing and
divorces and horrible
breakups. Or to like what was Brody's? That was like I feel
bad
because we always use
the worst one. It was awful.
But it's like she's like,
Brody's
I forgot my headphones.
A fantastic comedian, lovely person.
Who?
She came on Brody
Snook,
and she said, "Well, I think everything's a fail, isn't it? I mean, like I forgot my headphones today."
Yeah, we were just
yeah. I mean, off air, I was talking to you about what I'm going to bring up, and I was talking about shitting myself.
No, that's like this painful and embarrassing.
Well, look, should we get into it? Should we get into it?
Right, I think So we're now going to move on to our main section. That's fail of your life, starring Jacob Hawley.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think the mugging story is a bit of a fail, isn't it?
That was, that's
a
good little teaser.
Fail, that was a good fail. But yeah, there was one.
Wait, just before you do, Jacob, just for the edit. Jacob, take it away. The floor is yours.
Well, it's one that stands out. Just because I was talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong?
No, nothing. No, it's all right.
What did I do?
No, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
What? It's a really clever pun.
There was a great pun there, and there was no reaction.
What
to
pun?
It. The floor is yours. It doesn't matter.
What?
Floor is in FLAW.
Oh, right. Sorry.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was really good.
Jacob, he doesn't even get our puns. Like, this is unbelievable.
Well, so what happened?
Okay.
I was in Berlin a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And have you guys been to Berlin?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah. I've seen you on Instagram going to Berlin, actually, I think.
Barcelona most recently.
Again, all I do is win podcasts. All
Which
the holidays,
all the destinations here,
all the city breaks.
Exactly, yeah.
So I went. Basically, so it was one of the first times I went. Me and my mate Matt, we were in a club in Berlin, and
what was it? One of these like trendy queue up, got to wear black and look cool to get in.
It wasn't Berghain, but it was one of those. Yeah,
got to act like you don't want to go in.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is. So just side note here. I've been to Berlin twice. Don't like it, right? Because I am very much like, I want to night out. Let's go.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to be like that.
Did you try and jazz yourself up to get in? It's like rip some sleeves.
No, that is what you have to do. You have to wear all black. You have to queue up on your own for 4 hours, and then when the security guard says to you, "Are you coming in?" you have to be like, "If I have to."
Yeah.
Literally, that's the only club we got let into, me and my mate, when we were there. And unfortunately, my other mates didn't get in, so we couldn't go. But that was the only cool club we got into, was when me and him rocked up, wearing black, and the woman was just like, "Hey guys, what's the party tonight then?" And we looked at each other like, "I don't know." And she went, "Okay."
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, it has to be that vibe. And people when they, Berghain, the most famous one.
Yeah.
Like people were like, oh yeah, the thing to do is if you go on if you want to be there for Saturday night, the best thing to do is to go on Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why would you?
Wait. So if you want to get in by Saturday, show up on Wednesday.
That's like what they say. They say all this mental shit. They're like, oh yeah. So as long as you're there, like just before lunchtime on Thursday, that's a really good time if you want to be there.
So go there at 12:05. But if you go there at 12:10, you're not getting there.
What do you eat to survive till Saturday?
Think about it.
I think there's one or two things you can do.
I'm going in there looking for the buffet. Like,
come on. Like, is there a menu?
Yeah.
Do we serve ourselves?
Down,
Right, so bar snacks.
With a meal deal. Come on, it'll last me.
If I'm here on Thursday, I've got to be here till Saturday.
Do they do wings? Or
is there a place I can get
have you got beer and burger?
Yeah, is it beer and burger? It's Sunday. Do we do roasts? I've never been. But the other thing about the Berghain place is they're like, the stuff happening in there, like you would not believe. And it's like, well, they're just fucking. And it's like, no. It's like they're either fucking or fighting or pissing on each other.
Right.
What more could it be?
Yeah.
Literally, what else can you do?
It'd be more surprising if they were having a buffet. That's all I'm saying. If you go in there and everyone was sat down having a buffet, that's really, and all in suits, that's really going to freak you out. Like, what?
Oxford uni formal.
You would not believe what happened at Berghain.
honestly, mate, the thing is not that.
We actually had a roast and watched some Coronation Street, and it fucking blew my mind.
So
I have to come back to my favourite.
Okay, go on.
And then what are you going to say?
When you're saying about what could have happening, I have heard that
there's some mental
one guy went
sexual
in there
stuff
and saw someone do a shit, and then that was taken somewhere and frozen into a solid turd, and then that was put up someone else's ass.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine it.
That's a long. But that's.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do while you're waiting for it to freeze? Just everyone sat about going, "This is going to be mental."
But that's why they're there on the Wednesday.
Nothing could be worse than a poop dildo. That is,
check your coat. Check your coat. Right. What have you got in your pocket? I've got a phone, keys, and a frozen shit.
Yeah. That's why you go to Berghain. I got a poop dildo. Let me in.
Then you go, son.
Yeah. The poop dildos and the roasts. That's good. That's what I'm here.
So anyway, me and my mate, it wasn't one of those ones. It wasn't
one of the frozen shit.
No, it wasn't like a club of that level.
Okay.
Basically, one time when we went, we did half a gram of ket and then half a gram of speed.
Right.
And it was the best combination ever because half a gram of ket is enough to send you asleep.
Right.
But the speed sort of wakes you up a bit. So you're still mad, but you're awake. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, so that's what I did one of the first time. And then the fail came when the next time we went, I attempted to do that again, but I got my bags mixed up. So I went to do half ket, half speed. I ended up doing half ket and half ket. Right. I was like, I'm in deep fucking trouble.
Double ket.
Yeah, it was just a gram of ket.
Is it just you who did that when everyone else did the right?
I went in the cubicle on my own to do it, and then I came out. And I knew I was in fucking trouble. So I found my mate and I grabbed him by the arm. I just gripped his arm like that. And I was like, if I just hold on to him, it'll be okay. Sweet. And the next few hours, obviously blackout, vomiting, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I wake up and this is actually quite interesting about Berlin. In a lot of clubs in Berlin, they have these sort of rooms with medical professionals in there. So they're sort of ready for when this stuff happens. Right. So anyway, I woke up with a gloved hand pulling my tongue out of my throat.
Jesus.
And I was hooked up to a machine, that goes on your finger that takes your pulse. Anyway, I couldn't remember anything. I didn't know what had been happening. My mates had obviously, security had come over and had seen me vomiting everywhere. My mates had helped the security get me.
Did you make it out of the toilet or you just didn't?
Well, yeah, I'd made it out of the toilet. I'd got out of the toilet, gripped my mate's arm, and I think, sat there vomiting and going mental. But what, unbeknownst to me, whilst I'd been passed out, they'd got me into this nurse's room. They'd got me on this table, hooked me up and everything. and I have a history of shitting myself when I'm on drugs. Now, I think
Pretty cool guy.
and I think what had happened was the nurse, while she'd been sort of doing all this stuff, like I think I just farted, and she went, "Ooh," and like looked at my mates, and they were like, "Has he shat himself?" And she was like, "I think so." So basically, I wake up with this like gloved hand, putting my tongue out my throat, like my finger, taking pulse, all this beeping, all these fucking machines.
Yeah.
I don't even realise I'm still in the club. I just feel like I think I'm in hospital.
Yeah.
And I've just got all my friends stood around me, terrified, with this nurse there. And I turn around to my friends, I go, "What happened?" And they just go, "You've shat yourself." And I just remember thinking, this is a bit much just because I've shat myself.
Yeah, they're like, stand back, guys, get him on the machine.
It's a hospital because I shat myself. But then I realised that it was, what had happened and blah, blah, blah. But, this is the funny thing about Ket is you wake up and it's not like MD or Coke and you have a massive come down. Like, I woke up, I felt good as gold. I had pissed myself.
Right. And if you want to know what Jacob's standards are for good as gold, he's a very easygoing guy.
But I got up and I was like, right, should we go back in there? And the nurse was like, "No, you need to leave." But did go somewhere else and carried on.
Wow.
Carried on the party.
With the piss and the shit in your
stayed.
trousers.
I hadn't shat myself.
Oh, you
I
hadn't?
just farted.
And you piss yourself.
I had pissed myself.
So you pissed yourself?
Went home and got different trousers.
Okay.
Back out.
And carried on. Yeah. So it was a fail, I think.
Yeah,
I think that falls
I
under
think
a
just
fail.
Yeah.
So you kept on going, man.
It kept going.
And
yeah.
what did you do in the next place?
Danced.
So you didn't do
I
anything else?
didn't do any more
Right,
drugs.
right,
No.
okay.
I thought probably had enough for tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah. So and I think in terms of bringing positivity and growth and that sort of stuff into it, I think that's a good metaphor for life. Like
There we go.
have
There we go.
Quickly pull some
No,
out.
don't do cat and
We're
kids.
And kids, honestly, and it took me a while to learn this, but don't do a gram of ket. And
Yeah.
shit
Yeah, no.
yourself.
Yeah, be very careful with your bags. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Be very careful with your
No, it
bags.
makes sense. That's a bit of a ADIF policy that we can get behind. Be
Yeah.
careful with your bags and what you're taking.
Yeah.
Know what you're taking, kids.
Yeah.
We don't advocate drugs, but
But
if you can do them safely.
Yeah.
That's-
Have you read recently? Festivals are now testing drugs. So like when you go at Reading and Leeds Festival, they'll have like a little tent there, and they'll test the drugs that they catch on people.
Yeah.
And then if there is like unsafe stuff, they'll go around and tell everyone. And if not,
That's
cool,
quite
smart.
good. It's smart.
It is.
I'm a big advocate of legalizing all drugs and just taxing it. I just
Yeah.
think if you want to get drugs in this country, you get drugs. So what's the
yeah,
point?
it is. I mean, like loads of places doing that. Like Portugal done
Yeah.
it. Canada, loads.
To
of
what
places in America.
extent? To what extent?
Like
The drugs?
Portugal, like everything's legal.
Everything.
You can't be.
Heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
But it's just fundamentally, if you want heroin in this country, you can get heroin.
yeah. You
Can you?
Yeah.
Mike
What do you
Tyson.
hear?
Mike Tyson is opening up in California because it's legalized in California. Mike Tyson's opening like a sort of like cannabis retreat.
Right.
yeah,
okay.
yeah, where you go and just
Notoriously
get stoned.
chilled guy.
Go-
Mike Tyson.
Well, he is now.
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
you heard
he
him
loves
now? He's really fucking chilled out, man. He does loads of like hallucinogenic drugs and stuff, and he's really relaxed and funny now. Like, and he's just going to be there at this hotel, just stoned. You
Chill.
can just go and smoke weed with Mike Tyson.
Sounds alright.
Yeah, it sounds class.
I watched there's a Vice documentary about there's like a place in Serbia or something where you could like go make your own heroin, do like a heroin
Really?
retreat. Yeah. It's like
Serbia, though.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you go and like,
Don't quote me on Serbia, but it was it's like classic Vice, just like a problem that's in the UK. We'll pick a random country and then it also happens there. And it's like what?
Yeah. But like when people go and do like ayahuasca and stuff, they go to like Peru.
Yeah.
You think at least it's hot. Do you know what I mean?
At least you get your shorts on.
Yeah. Like, at least you have a holiday with that as well. Like, if you go to fucking Serbia, it's a bit bleak, in it. I mean, I don't want to knock Serbia. It might be really nice, but
We back Serbia and love the Serbs.
We love the Serbs, mate.
yeah,
Big
we
Serb.
can't get
Nemanja
enough.
Matic, great player.
Yeah,
love
yeah,
him.
it's good.
Nemanja
Yeah,
Vidic,
yeah.
great player.
the guy Dusan Tadic,
Dusan Tadic,
Serbian, he used to play for Southampton. He's at Ajax now, and he's a big part of their success.
Cool.
So
Fair.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
good save on Serbia.
Great. Yeah.
Really safe.
They've built a lot of their success on the young players like that Frankie de Jong, but
Yeah.
he's got
Daily Blind and Dusan Tadic are sort of like the old heads.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's why we got you in, Jacob.
Very niche
this
European
is
football.
Obscure European Football
Yeah.
Daily.
Thanks.
Got Jacob
Yeah.
on. What do you think of the Levante B team? Bit overplaying it a bit, aren't they?
Yeah. It's got been playing out from the back.
It's got a strong contingent of Moroccan players.
Sometimes you got to go route one.
Okay, have you got any other fails you wish to share?
Let me have a think. There's definitely been a few. I'm trying to go back month by month in terms of what's gone wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit fails. I just prepared the one.
That's cool.
Okay.
I thought that was bad enough.
No, that's all right. What
nearly
Got
dying.
the mugging one as well.
The mugging, yeah.
Oh.
Let me have a think. What's gone wrong? Comedy-wise, what's gone wrong?
Oh yeah, worst.
comedy
Give us your
fail,
worst
yeah,
death.
do
Give
comedy.
us a
What's
death.
the
I've had some. I died a
Think
lot.
me, Tom. Is that I just never.
no, I do.
Yeah, give us a brutal.
I mean,
Well,
I
do you know
only
what?
get standing ovations, so there was one time a guy didn't turn up. And
I did a festival a year or two ago. That I've actually I'm doing it again this year, but I know I'll learn my lesson this year. But I did it a couple of years ago. I didn't realise.
Did you not say what
Did
it
it
is?
does it rhyme with splatitude?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not doing latitude. But with this festival that I did, it was just like it was quite a small one, but you got like I was basically in the main tent at like 2 PM. It
Right.
was full of kids and
Oh.
dogs.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
actually, yeah, I've got a few of these actually. But yeah, it was full of kids and dogs, and like I don't know why they had like really fucking good people booked to do it. They had like Lou Sanders, who else done? Joe Bohr.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
So
people.
like just like strong club, like
Yeah, really
Good
good acts,
thing,
but
yeah.
they were all doing 20 minutes, and for some reason they've got me in to do an Edinburgh preview, like amongst,
There you go.
it'd be like, I think Lou was on after me,
Yeah.
and Joe had just come off before me, and but then I was supposed to be doing like an hour, and like I was like, fucking hell, there's all these kids, and I remember like getting 20 minutes, well, I thought, like in my head as I was, because I had to rush to get there, and then I saw the actual situation, and in my head I was like, what am I going to do? So I cut out all the bits that I couldn't really do in front of children, did the whole show without those bits, looked at my watch, I'd only done 20 minutes, I had
Right.
another 25 at least to go, so I just had to like improv for like 25 minutes with a load of children.
How was that?
Yeah, rubbish. but so
Anyone done Kit? Anyone?
but I got booked. Like they emailed me in October or November this year, being like, "Do you want to come and do it again?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" They were like, "Do you want to do a preview?" I'll do 20 minutes this time.
Yeah.
And then I've had a few. There was one that I did. I actually tell this joke. I tell this as part of material on stage now. It was a birthday party in a social club in Romford,
nice.
and it was like
Good
like,
start. That.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
terms.
and it was
Yeah.
like I walked in and like it's just the walls are covered in England flags, but there hasn't been football on for weeks, and it's
Right,
like, oh god,
yeah.
this is gonna be bad. And like it was I don't know whose birthday it was, but I walked in and
St George, mate.
well that's the material
The
that I was
British
ready to do.
people.
Like, and I walked in and basically like for the entertainment that was going on at that point, like a local girl. She was like this singer, and she was like this local hero because she'd got to like the judges rounds of the X Factor.
Right.
Everyone loved her. She was singing. Everyone's up dancing, having a
yeah.
really good time. And then the landlord, like she finishes her song, the landlord sort of comes on stage and goes, "Right, everyone, sit down. We've got a comedian now." And literally, I heard everyone go,
Oh, fuck.
so they all sit down, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And it is like the front 2 rows of the gig were empty, of the thing were empty, and I was like, "Why is no one sitting at the front? That's weird." Yeah, I mean that's just fairly normal, but it was like people were standing at the back rather than sitting at the front. I thought that's
How
strange.
many people were we talking?
There's quite a few, like literally, like, I'd probably say like 70 or 80.
Right. So
It
there's
was
a room full of people.
Yeah.
and it.
So enough for a mob.
Yeah. Well, but I was thinking, I was like, okay, like these people look a bit like they might like the sort of drug stuff, that sort of stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll do that stuff. So I wrote all that on my hand, and then
And how long you got to do?
20 minutes.
Okay.
Right.
But this was a couple of years ago.
Okay,
I
yeah.
shouldn't have been.
A
doing
shaky
it.
20 minutes.
Yeah. It was a tight 17.
Yeah.
But then the reason that the front 2 rows were empty is because they had to get the kids in from outside.
Brilliant.
So it's just all these
okay.
people, and then their kids in the front 2 rows, and then like genuinely, it was like if you were to watch The Simpsons and a character was having a bad gig at comedy, it was like that.
Yeah.
People genuinely shouting heckles constantly. Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't get a word in where people were just shouting how bad I was. And one of the heckles, and this is the sort of story that I tell on stage now, they could see what I'd written on my hand, and one of them shouted, "What's that written on your hand?" And I said, "It's my set." And he shouted, "It would have been a short set if you'd written it on your cock, wouldn't it?"
That's very.
It's really good, isn't it? Good.
Straight away.
And it was like and that
big
was,
laugh from everyone.
Yeah, and that was
including the kids.
Yeah, mate. Well, no, this is the thing. No one gave a fuck that there was kids there, but and then they said to me that was the only time anyone said this to me. The landlord said, like, when I came off, he was like, "I think it's best that you go out through the back, rather than through the pub, because they hated you."
Yeah,
like,
we've heard that from other comedians.
A lot, but
really,
it's when it turns on you and it really gets that bad. Like, it is like visceral. Like,
yeah, but you know, I prefer that though. I prefer that than it just being like
meh.
like. Yeah, just like
yeah.
very quiet, no one enjoying it, sort of like, oh, like, you know, like them. I prefer it to be carnage, they hate me, they're going to fight me, than it being like, oh, they just want me to finish and go off because they're bored. Do you know what I mean? I'd much rather at least you get an anecdote out of it when they really hate
when it
you.
really says.
Yeah. Have you had bad ones?
Yeah.
Like, bad ones. I've never had one where like it's gotten potentially dangerous.
Have you not?
Nah,
do you know Phil Ellis?
Yeah.
Do you know Phil? We did one together in Camberley, and he was emceeing, and there was this like group of blokes who were like, they weren't bad, but they were like shouting out a lot and stuff like that. And so Phil went over to them, to the biggest one, picked him up in his arms, carried him out of the room, and just dropped him outside.
What?
and then he sort of went back on stage, carried on with the gig, and then he like after 10 minutes, he said to the group of guys, he was like, "Is your mate not coming out?" He was like, "No, they're not letting him back in." And they were like, and Phil was like, "Oh fuck, has he just gone home then?" They were like, "No, he's waiting outside for you."
Shit.
Phil made me go with him for a cigarette because he was scared to go outside on his own.
But sometimes I have had it a bit like where you've like rubbed someone up the wrong way, like especially in clubs or whatever, and then you can just feel it afterwards, and they'll come up to you, and I've had it, and they'll like grab like that and be like, "Yeah, well done, mate." And you're just like,
they're a little bit too sort of
they're a bit too angry with that shit handshake, you know.
Tom just put his big paws around my neck. Felt quite scared. Those big pistons that we were mentioning earlier before.
See, this is also quite safe.
But also at the same time, felt right.
Yeah, it's it can get a bit weird, especially when doing crowd work, and if you just rub someone slightly, or they just can't take it. Like, there are some people who just don't, you know.
And that's the thing with comedy as well. People feel like you're in their debt already as you're on. Like, how dare I have to listen to you? And if they don't enjoy it, they're not like, "Well, I didn't enjoy that comedian." They're like, "You're a piece of shit." And I hate you. It's so weird.
I think there's definitely like rooms you go to where there's like blokes in there who are used to being the funniest guy in the room.
Oh yeah.
And then you come on and they're not happy about that, and
it's a weird like pride and ego thing. It's kind of like comedy. Someone described it a bit like if you go into a hostile environment, a bit like prison, where like you want to look and try and find the hardest, most shoutiest person and go after them straight away. Just go like for them straight away. And then
my mate's got a saying for that, which is you cut the alpha.
Yeah,
apparently it's a German phrase where it's like something that's taught in teaching as well. It's like when you're a teacher, if like for like a supply teacher, for example, if you go in, you find like the leader, like the ringleader of the bad kids, and you fucking smash him to sort of make an example. And
obviously not physically.
Well, I don't know. Alex is a weird guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that.
No, but mate, I just go up and hit the biggest 10-year-old there is, mate.
But that's I think I've done that actually, and it's worked before.
That has. Yeah.
I did a gig in Halifax a few months ago, and it's like I don't know what it's a certain there's one promoter that does this a lot. Who they get like the open spot to go on before the opener.
Oh, I've had that before.
So like the guy doing the sort of newer act doing 10 was on before me doing like a full set, and he fucking died, this kid. But there was like one bloke being really nasty to him as he was dying. And I was like, so basically I just went after this guy. Do you know what I mean? And that I think he kind of took it all right, and that sort of made the room feel okay. But like,
hero Jacob Hawley once again.
I saw the young comic in need, and I outstretched my hand.
There's a big white trainer that gets put up in the sky, projected. And Jacob Hawley comes and sorts it out.
But look, there's plenty more times where I'm that 10-minute spot dying and making it difficult for the opening act.
It's a horrible soul sucking feeling. We've all had it, and you're just up there and you're just like, this is going shit.
Did it upset you still? Do you find it hurt still?
I kind of I'll be slightly annoyed about it, but I don't I don't get hurt. I just kind of
Really?
think like, how do I make that not happen again, or like try and think that way as opposed to like.
I had a preview last year which nearly gave me a mental breakdown.
Wow.
Like it was that bad. Like it was on a Wednesday afternoon about 5:00. It was really good weather, and I had a director come in to watch me and to give me notes on my show. And I didn't think I'd sell more than 2 tickets because we announced it like 4 days before, blah blah blah. But I sold like 10, and I was really surprised by that. It turned out I thought they were a stag do. It turns out they were policemen, but they were like pissed up, behaving
really tricky,
mate. They're behaving like a stag do. Like one of them was using the toilet cubicle like 5 minutes before the show, and no, so I was using the toilet cubicle, and this guy was waiting to go in, and he was in the audience. So as I announced myself on stage, before I got to the microphone, this guy stood up and went, "He's just done a shit." And that was probably the highlight of the gig. It went even worse after that, and then I paid someone to tell me what's wrong with my show for 2 hours.
Wow!
And that scarred me, that one.
But like police could always be quite tricky because they're the police, so they think fuck with us, we're the police.
Mate, they were the worst audience I've ever had. Like one of them fell asleep, one of them was just on his phone the whole time. The rest of them sort of heckled and then got bored when I like didn't give them a chance to heckle. That gig, like that was like. I really thought I'd fucked everything then. That was like
it's so weird though, isn't it? Like it's people not understanding comedy. Like why have they booked to go to someone's preview of their show? Isn't it a long form show? They want to go to a club, don't they?
At one point, halfway through, it was going so badly. I did say to him, I was like, "Can you honestly tell me how you've ended up here? Because something absolutely fucking catastrophic has gone wrong with my marketing. If I've got you in this audience." Like, I was like,
"What do they say?"
I saw it online. Yeah. I was like, wait, like I've got. It's very obviously like it's not for you. Do you know what I mean? I've tried everything with the marketing to make it obvious it's not for you, mate. How have you ended up here? Yeah. But yeah, that's the last one I remember having, which really like took a few. Usually, like you get pissed off afterwards on the bus home or whatever. And then the next morning you're up and it's fine. Do you know what I mean? But
I remember in Edinburgh this year, me and Fiona there was one show and it was just like a busload of people from Kent. And like,
Fiona told me like
middle-aged people just showed up, and it was just like in the handover when you're doing that split, and it's just like you just like, and you fucked. The next and you're absolutely fucked.
I did one. Do you know Tom Lucy?
Yeah,
I did one in Southend with him a few months ago, which was really rough. And he was MCing, and I was. I did a gig with him in Cambridge, and I watched him just do crowd work for like 22 minutes. He's
just
great.
Smash it.
Yeah. He was doing that, but they were obviously a horrendous crowd. And like, as I was like going on, as he was coming off from MCing, I was supposed to be doing 20 minutes, and I think he said something. He was like, "See you in 16, mate." And I think I managed 14. So.
Yeah.
But,
why was the crowd so rough? Just like,
oh man, they were horrible. Do you know what? Actually, 90% of them were hard but okay. They were tough. They were all in big work groups. It was around Christmas, but they were okay. It was 2 girls at the back of the room who just made it unplayable because they just would not shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's like I tried every tactic. I was like harsh. I was nice. I pleaded. I asked the staff to do so. It got to that point where like the rest of the room were trying to enjoy what I was doing.
But she was just...
And they were actually like, every time she would shout out, like a lot of other people in the room would be like, "Just shut up, just fuck off, Chip." But but that was hard. But yeah, I hope promoters don't listen to this because I sound like the most unbookable person.
No, it's just part of it. Like, everyone knows rough gigs. They all know.
I had something similar in Edinburgh. You're saying that you got a coach. I remember like I was looking at my sales before I went up, and there was one Monday where I'd nearly sold out, but the rest were like, and I was like, "That's why that Monday? That's really weird." And I remember thinking, I was like, "What could it be?" I thought, and I thought it was going to be maybe like some sort of school trip. It was
actually a busload of models.
No. It was
bloody hell. These beautiful women.
Do you know Sega? The coach trips for like 70-year-olds.
Oh, yes.
It was
one
of
it's not
Saga.
Saga, that's it.
Sega's
the game.
The makers of the Dreamcast.
That Hedgehog. He turned
Sonic the Hedgehog.
No,
he was only in for a bit. Away.
It was a Saga. It
rolled off.
I just had these like 40 like really old people just came and sat there.
And how was it?
They were actually really nice. They
we found with the old crowds, they were smilers and nodders.
Yeah.
And then on the way out, they'll give you money.
That's it, mate. That's it.
They appreciate like that's it's a show and that.
Yeah, they'll smile and nod, and you'll go, oh yeah, you know, bit tough, bit quiet, and then on the way out, they'll all give you a £10.
Go, well done, thank you.
Yeah. And they think that you're their grandson.
Yeah.
They think that it's like, you know, like, oh, 20 quid in
Don't
the
spend it
car.
on the sweets.
Yeah.
Like, I've already got my cat. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
This is going on trainers, right?
Exactly. Yeah. See how bad these trainers are.
Yeah.
That's why you wear them.
Right, guys, this has been All I Do Is Fail. Thank you very much, Jacob, for coming on.
Thanks for having
Jacob,
me.
is there anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah. There is actually.
I thought
It
he was about
is.
to get a folder out. He's just reached for his phone. It's cool.
I've just reached for my merch. No, I'm doing my Edinburgh show in Waterloo at the Vaults Festival.
Oh, very nice.
Are you guys doing Vaults?
I'm doing Volts.
He's doing
Yeah.
Volts.
Yeah.
Vaults.
When's yours?
I got 15th of February and I've got another one 3rd of March.
Are you 15th? What time are you on the 15th?
6:45.
Hey, I'm on at 10:30.
What venue?
Oh, is there more than one?
Yeah. Volts has a few rooms.
Oh, I don't know anything.
That's why I do the admin,
Yeah,
ladies
right,
and gentlemen. Always on it.
I'm doing my Edinburgh show at the Vaults Festival. I as I've just said, I don't know what room it's in. But
okay.
it's at 10:30 after Ali, so go see Ali and then go in there.
Mine's sold out. Sorry, guys.
Is it really?
Yeah, but it's only a small room.
How many?
30.
That's all right.
I mean,
How big's your room?
You're gonna take the piss out of me now for having a bigger room.
mine's 1,500. Only half full.
Mine's 100.
Oh, nice.
But so yeah, I'm just trying to find where it is now. It is in. Well, actually, it doesn't matter what room it is it? Because if you go on the website or something like
It'll
that,
be
yeah.
Hopefully, Jacob will arrive there because he has no idea where it is. Hopefully he'll turn up.
But yeah, 10:30 at the Vaults on the 15th.
Wicked. So you get
Amazing.
tickets online, yeah?
Tickets
Look up Vault
online.
Festival, Jacob Hawley.
Is it
Is it
work,
called?
or is he doing?
It's last year's show.
What's
Cool.
the show called?
Howl.
Are you going up to Edinburgh this year? Or?
I am going out. Yeah,
Nice.
doing another show. Yeah, and I've got fucking loads of previews that I need to sell tickets to for that as well. But first of all, this one.
Right.
And social media, what you on?
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram.
What's your handle?
Twitter is Hawley Jacob. Instagram Jacob Hawley.
Cool.
There's a Jacob Hawley on Twitter. We got there first. Videographer from America.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
He
deal.
frequently
Very
like
funny.
promoters will like tag him in like gig tweets and be like, "We've got
so
Jacob
annoying.
Hawley," and he'll get really shitty about it. He'll be like, "No, I'm not."
You only need to worry if he starts being like, just like throwing out really horrific stuff on his
Yeah.
Twitter. It's just like,
Yeah.
turns out he's a racist.
he's
So that's-
got a MAGA hat.
We got Jacob Hawley.
We got Jacob Hawley. We had a look at his Twitter and not for us.
Mate, I've had a bigger problem than that. This is another fail actually. This is like a last little fail to end the podcast on.
We'll tell you when it's ended, but yeah, cool.
So I thought we were wrapping up. A couple of years ago, I changed my name on Facebook to Silvio Dante. You know, the Sopranos character.
Yeah.
Because I was getting weirdos giving me shit on Facebook.
Really?
Why?
It was after I did the BBC competition.
Why would they give you? Oh, because you were doing. Was it because you were doing lefty stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
So they found me on Twitter. And then they found me on Facebook, and they were fine. It was really weird, actually. There was this one guy on Twitter. He had like a sort of like Union Jack header, and like, and he was just
pretty on the level guy, just chilling.
Yeah. But he started off just giving me loads of shit, being like lefty comedian, lefty BBC wet dream Guardian cunt, all this stuff.
But isn't it on? We all left.
Yeah, well,
That's in my bio.
I don't know. I mean, what always surprises me about these really right wing people is that they're really angry. Because like, I always think like, why you're winning? Why are you angry? You've got your government. You're leaving the EU. You've got a president who's on your. What are you upset about? Anyway, they found me and they were giving me loads of shit. And then they must have added me on Facebook under some weird name. And you know what it's like when you're up in Edinburgh. Like you get about 7 people adding you every day on Facebook, so you just accept them all. And he'd obviously added me on there, and then he'd gone through to like really old pictures, and he'd found like pictures of me when I was really young, pictures of like my nephew and my niece and stuff, and he's put it on Twitter, and it was really nasty and weird. So I didn't know who he was. So I was like, fuck, what do I do? And I'm off Facebook now, but back then I didn't want to come off of it. So I thought, okay, well, if I change my name and my picture, he might not be able to find me. Anyway, from doing that, something to do with how Facebook links with Outlook and Hotmail and stuff. Basically, every time I email people, it comes up in their inbox as Silvio Dante. So someone said that to me the other day. Do you know Robin Perkins? Who runs Laugh Train?
Yeah.
She was like, by the way, do you know that? And I was like, no. And she was like, yeah, you've probably been emailing a lot of promoters asking for gigs and they've not been getting back to you because you're coming up as Silvio Dante. And I said to a lot of people that I knew, I was like, even people that work at Avalon, the agency, I said to people at Avalon, I was like, have you noticed that? They were like, oh yeah, we thought you knew that. I was like, of course I fucking didn't know that. I've fixed it now, but for about... Well, that was 2017. So for about 18 months, I've been emailing people under the name Silvio Dante.
Yeah. Fucking hell. That's funny.
They look up your picture like, well, you might be Silvio.
I imagine
I was young.
Yeah. There's probably been times when people have been booking me, assuming that I am some sort of like Silvio Dante like cover act.
Impersonator.
We're gonna get a Sopranos actor.
These guys, come on.
Just when I thought I was out.
Oh, amazing. Right. Plug-in stuff for ADIF, so get us at ADIF Pod on Instagram.
Yeah, ADIF Pod Instagram, ADIF Pod Twitter. Get on it. Follow us, like, subscribe.
And actually, our YouTube channel that we've actually started putting things on.
Yeah, All I Do Is Fail podcast on YouTube. You can check out the whole of Dane's episode on there if you want to see our lovely faces and some clips as well.
Yep. And follow me at Tom Elwes and...
At Alleywood's Gigs. And yeah, I have to have tickets available for 3rd of March at Volts Festival. It's a Sunday, 7 p.m. So a lovely way to end your week, I think. Not people agreeing with that. So if you could come, that means there wouldn't be an empty room. Thank you.
Right, guys. This has been All I Do Is Fail. Thank you very much, everyone.
Cheers,
Bye.
mate.
Bye.